Hey guys, what's up? Dax here. Today we are here with the next episode of F1 2001 Career Mode. Today we are here with the French Grand Prix. We're starting in last place and the lights are out and away we go here in France. But look at this for a start. Everyone on the inside, or the outside of the grid I should say, just literally stops. And before we get to turn 1, I go from 22nd to 6th place. And that makes the AI in F1 2014 look amazing when you see what happens there. So yeah, I guess we'll take it. We're into a points position already into turn 1, but about halfway through the lap here, this is where it really gets a bit tricky. The track gets a bit tight and it's quite hard to actually get the car around without doing things silly, but the hairpin, everything's good. Get it into first gear and accelerate away alright. And I bet you're wondering, what happened to your wheel problem, Alex? Well, basically I ended up getting my G27 wheel working again, but the only problem is that there isn't any force feedback, which makes it actually quite hard to drive when there isn't any force feedback at all. So that's the only problem at the moment. So maybe the driving isn't great, but anyway, it doesn't matter nonetheless, because we've overtaken Montoya there for 5th place I should say. He's moved down to 6th and we've moved up to 5th place here on the first lap of the race where we started last. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Because overall I would have expected maybe to get into the top 10 over this first lap, but not get into the top 5 into a points position already. Now, end of the lap here, we've got the BAR of Villeneuve in front of us here. We're going to look down the inside. Yes, we are. Dive it down the inside there of Villeneuve. We run side by side there across the start finish line. We were just behind him, I think, there. But it's a 0.7 gap to Hackett in front here. We're closing that down already, down to 0.4 seconds. So I think overall, guys, we've got decent pace here in France. Basically, my qualifying lap, I was going around and then I crashed and lost both wheels. I'm like, it'd be a bit unfair to just restart the session, or I think you can just like back out the session and restart it, or just like go back to the pits and you get your wheels miraculously fixed. But I decided not to do that. I decided to just sort of try and make it a bit more realistic and just stay in last place where I would have qualified otherwise. And yeah, on this second lap, I'm still really amazed that we got up to 4th place. I've got to thank all the AI that just didn't want to do anything for this amazing opportunity of being 4th place in a Jordan round track where I did not expect to do very well at all. I'm not going to lie, in qualifying, I didn't really seem to be very fast either. The AI just overtaking me all over the place. So this race pace definitely was a bit of a surprise here. Maybe I was just like, got to focus now. This could be a good opportunity for some sort of points. And yeah, it's even turned up to even better thing than that. So 4th place, Hakkinen about half a second in front of me here. The smoke in front, is that a car retiring? I think it's just a locked up brake here, but we're looking down the inside of Hakkinen for 3rd place. We've got it done. Run side by side and managed to get the move done. And it looks like Hakkinen's quite slow through that final corner there and managed to make our way into 3rd place. They're now about a 1.8 second gap to David Coulthard in 2nd place. He's right behind, I think, Michael Schumacher in the lead of this one. You can actually see on the bottom of the screen there, the times at the bottom. Car's about 15 or so seconds behind in like 15th place. I think that just shows how bad the start was for some of the AIs. I don't really know what happened. I think it might have been the car, I think it's Barrichello's car stalled on the grid. That's when another car stalled on the other side of the grid. But I think that ended up meaning that everyone just sort of stuck behind it and just like, where do we go, that sort of thing. So that's a bit weird, but I suppose that's just that, and we took advantage of that. And now we're in a very solid place here, 3rd place in the French Grand Prix. That would be an amazing result here, but we have got Hakkinen right up behind us here. You can see sliding all over the place in our Jordan. The Jordan doesn't really have much grip through fast corners, where you'd see if we were following the Ferrari or a McLaren a bit more closely, they've got a lot more sort of grip and aerodynamic efficiency through the high-speed corners, which we just don't have in the Jordan. And we're trying our best, but when your car's a bit slower in the first place than the other ones, it's a bit harder than it looks. So, final corner there, slightly messing up our lines as we go across the start-finish line, go on to lap number 4 here. Over that lap, we closed the gap to David Coulthard by about 0.2 of a second. So, it's good to see we're actually closing the gap to Coulthard here, but is it enough? Well, 0.2 a lap wouldn't be enough to overtake them, I don't think. We've got 4 laps, or about 3.5 laps left here, so we'd need the gap to just about a second really to make that a possible gap, or just over less than a second I should say. So it's not looking too good here, but in the hairpin you can see we closed the gap up quite a bit there and managed to get the gap down to about a second to Coulthard here. So that's maybe the part of the track where we need to just break a tiny bit later and gain even more time. It looks like that's the part of the track where the AI aren't too great, but look at that, David Coulthard's all over the back of Michael Schumacher here for the lead of this race. He's obviously trying to get past and get that position, but I'm not even sure, has David Coulthard won a race this season in my in my F1 2001 career? I'm not even sure, to be perfectly honest. I can't even remember. I know Hakkinen has. Barrichello, I think, has, but it's pretty much just dominated by Schumacher, Michael Schumacher, at the end of the day. I've got to say, this has been a very unexpected race so far. Obviously, starting in last place, I knew there was going to be a bit of a challenge, but it seemed to all go my way in the first lap. Whereas he very sideways in the last couple of turns. Calm down, Alex. Only a couple of laps to go, and we could get a podium here in France for Jordan, which would be very good. Coulthard about a second ahead here, and I think we closed the gap down that last lap, about 3 or 4 tenths of a second. So a very good last lap time there. If we can keep that up, we might actually be able to get past Coulthard here. But you can see that high-speed corner there. He's just so quick in comparison to us, which means that we lose a lot of time. Hakkinen is still right up behind us here. That's definitely something we need to watch out for. But into the hairpin once again, we close that gap down to about a second. And building up through the gears once again, you can see that the Jordan is quite good on the brakes, and it seems to be able to slow down quite quickly. And the acceleration is pretty good on it as well. Maybe it's just a top end speed that isn't really there for us at the moment, which is going to really be needed actually when we go to the German Grand Prix. Is it the German Grand Prix? I think it's the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim. The really high speed one. I don't know whether you guys remember it, but you know, it stopped, I think they stopped using that track in about 2004 or something like that. But it's the really high speed one. I think it's even like high average speed. The Monza, but look at this, he's gone for a spin. I'm trying to like, please just get in the right direction. I had Villeneuve crash into me as well, I think Coulthard, but oh no, it's happened again. Why does this happen every race to me? I can't manage to do everything perfect. Then we go a bit too fast into there, we crash into the back of the BAR, and it was going so well. We're in 3rd place, and just like you knew watching this career mode so far, something's going to happen. Is it that EA scripting that just something has to happen in this race? Like it doesn't want me to do well or something. I don't know, but at the end of the day, I've got to just take it on the chin and try and get back into the points here, because you can't restart races in this game. You know, maybe in that sort of circumstance, I would have restarted. It's like, oh, for goodness sake, that was really frustrating. But then I suppose if I restarted, I probably wouldn't have the same action at the start that I did, just overtaking all those cars. But a good move there on Irvine to make way into 8th place here, and now 2 spots outside the points. So getting past Heidfeld and Panis, I think it is, in the BAR. We've managed to get back past both of them, then that will be a point there. So right behind Heidfeld in his Sauber here, we might be able to get past him through this next sequence of corners. We're looking to the inside here, we go to the inside, we brake a bit too late, do we? Well, we don't brake enough, and we go across the corner there. We already made the move by that point, so I'm not going to get the position back. In some circumstances like this, that in this career mode, guys, I will give the position back, but I'm not going to be able to do it all the time. And look at this, make another mistake here, but I try and make sure I don't gain too much time, so I just go a little bit slower through this last couple of turns here. But you can see Panis, I don't know what he's doing, but he's very slow off the final corner here. Are we going to look to the inside going to turn 1? Yes, we are. We're running side by side through turn 1 and managed to make the move stick and into the points after somehow spinning it twice, and yeah, somehow back into the points. But Panis is not going to give up that easily. He's back past us here, and we're back in the slipstream here, looking to the inside, going to the hairpin. That was a bit risky there, pulling out that late. Back to the racing line, into the hairpin. We've got Villeneuve not that far in front. Possibly, could we get past Villeneuve into the top 5? That would be a very good story to do that, but it's a little bit too far. Is it 2 seconds? I mean, maybe if he was one of the back end cars, we could close up 2 seconds, but these last couple of laps are just very scruffy. You can see I'm all over the place. I think that first spin about a lap ago, then that's one of the corners just up here. When I spun, I'm like, oh, for goodness sake. Then the next turn when I spun, I was like, oh, great. And then I was just like, gotta go for all the overtakes I possibly can here and risk it all. And that's pretty much what I did. I cut a couple of corners in there, but hopefully you guys don't hate me too much for that. Just mistake. At the end of the day, I was pushing way over where the car was able at that point, because I was a bit frustrated really. Last couple of turns here, making sure I don't cut it that time, and through the final corner to pick up somehow a point. What a crazy race that was, and you can see I was pretty happy with that, even though I knew we could have got 3rd and possibly 2nd, maybe even 1st if we hadn't made that mistake. But at the end of the day, it's all ifs and buts, but we managed to get a point here. And you can see that Coulthard crashing into the back of Michael Schumacher on the warm down lap. Don't know what he's exactly doing there, but he looks like he's crashed or something. I don't even know. Where's Coulthard gone? But yeah, I'd say pretty interesting race there. We managed to get 6th place, as you can see there. 13 odd seconds behind the win in the end. And I don't know whether we could have got 2nd place. It been quite tough, I think. But overall, good race there, guys. Hopefully did enjoy the episode. And we get 1 point as well to move. We'll stay in the championship hunt. Well, stay in our position hunt, I'd say, with Villeneuve, really. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And until next time, it's been Axum out here. Goodbye.